All right. Good morning, Michelle. How are you?
I am doing well, Valencia. How are you?
I'm doing well. So basically, we're doing these interviews to explain to students what each department is at UNG, how they can get in contact with them, and why they exist. So let's get started. Let's just get right into it. What does your office tell us a little bit about Office of Student Retention and Success of UNG, and what is your role in it?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Michelle Eaton, and I work in the Office for Student Retention and Success. We're not really a student-facing office, so we might not typically see you face to face, but we do a lot of work behind the scenes to advance student success at the University of North Georgia. So a lot of times we're looking at policies, procedures, or programs or projects to look at removing barriers that are impacting our students to be retained at the university. So we want each student to have equitable access to education and be successful. And if it is your dream to graduate from the University of North Georgia with a associate or bachelor's degree, or even a graduate degree in the future, we are here to assist you in the help of that.
Awesome. You mentioned the word student success. I feel like everybody has a very vague idea of what that is, especially students. So can you kind of give like your definition of it? I know that there are like the four pillars that are talked about in departments. Can you explain what that is and why those are the pillars?
Absolutely. So you're exactly correct, Valencia. I could ask you, or I could ask any student at the university how they define student success, and I would probably get a different answer. And that is really okay because we really like to take an individualized approach to student success for each student, because what makes you successful might not make the student next to you successful. So we have developed as a university a model called the four pillars for student success. And we do believe that when students are immersed in all of these pillars, that they will be more likely to succeed at the university. Now, there are times where students will go through challenges and they might feel a little bit of pain points or obstacles in certain areas of the pillars, but that's where the help of our office and offices around the university are here to help. So I'll explain a little bit about that model so you all have a good idea of how we define student success at the university. So the four pillars for student success are academic success, financial stability, health and well-being, and a sense of belonging and engagement. So academic success is just like it sounds. Your attention or your success is absolutely impacted by your grades. So you either progress towards graduation with a successful grade point average. So this is the grades that you're making in your courses. This includes all of the academic success tools that University College has to offer, including tutoring, supplemental instruction, the writing center, math labs, and things of that nature that we definitely want you to take advantage of as a student. Um, and financial stability is our next one. This one is really referring to a student's financial security while they are enrolled at the University of North Georgia. So we use intentional ways to help ensure that our students are financially stable by offering affordable education, which we do offer at UNG. We do have various scholarships. Of course, there's financial aid available, but what we do in our office is really try to do a lot of research around that financial stability pillar to make sure that our students are getting what they need so that their finances are not a barrier to continuing their education. Health and well-being is very similar to how it sounds. So we want our students to be fed both mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally. And we do recognize that a lot of our students do not end up persisting with us because of things that are outside of their control. So there might be things going on outside of the classroom with your families or your living situations or your mental health that could be very stressful on our students that impacts their success. So we really use this pillar to motivate our faculty and staff to create programs to assist students in these non-academic reasons. So by having mental health strategies, using the rec center for physical health, if that's your thing, working through some family situations with you all. We strive to embed the health and well-being at the core of the overall student experience. So we want you to feel healthy and happy and joyful and at home while you're here at UNG. The last one is the sense of belonging and engagement. We know that belongingness is essential. It's a universal human motivation to feel like you belong at a place. So the last thing that we want is for a student to perceive that they do not belong the moment that they step on one of our campuses. So that feeling of belongingness is a feeling of connectiveness, the experience of being cared about, accepted, respected, and all of those things are opportunities that the university is researching and looking into to ensure that you all each have this experience at the university. I will say within this one for engagement, the more actively engaged that you are in the classroom and outside of the classroom, the more likely you are to be to achieve successes here at the university. There are data and statistics that suggest that, but we also know that when you have a foundation with your peers and you have the core group of fulfilling your needs of belonging, that you will be successful. So that is our definition for student success. It is a lot. It's very comprehensive and there's a lot to be said in all of that. But we do believe if a student is balanced in each of these areas, which as a reminder is academic success, financial stability, health and well-being, and sense of belonging and engagement, that you will persist to graduation and then go on to fulfill your lifelong dreams.
I feel like that is so accurate in how, like, when you're in college, you have these things that you don't necessarily define them as pillars. You don't define them strictly in these categories, but it's true. As soon as one thing feels a little low, you feel like you have to rebalance everything out in your world. And it feels like when you get to college, it's the first time that you're being treated as an adult and you're acting like an adult. And it's the first time you're managing all of these things. And I've mentioned this before in previous interviews, how when you get to college, regardless of where you are, you still feel like you're doing it all by yourself. You're doing the juggling act by yourself. But I think the fact that UNG has gone to these lengths just to define that, to make it clear to students that they're doing research and trying to understand us and talk to us and see where we're coming from. I think that goes to show just how important it is to them as an institution that we are seen and heard, and that we want to get that across, that as an institution there is help, that you're not just by yourself, that you can at least reach out before if you're considering leaving for whatever reason, for whatever's going on in your life, at school or not, that there are resources there for you to use. So
Absolutely. And we do, I just want to reiterate what you mentioned, Valencia, about feeling alone. I want to ensure that all of you as students realize that you are not alone. I know that it does feel that way sometimes, and we go to great lengths to find students that might be in that area where they're currently struggling with a barrier in college, and we do try to help you all. But do not be afraid to ask for help, because everybody here is for you and for your success, and we wouldn't be doing our jobs right if we didn't step out to help you. So you are not bothering anybody by asking for help, and that's what we actually truly desire of you.
Yeah, that is awesome. Like, I know that it's something that a lot of institutions say, but I don't always think that it's actually followed through with the way UNG does. So thank you for that. Which moves me to the next question, which is about basically the specific programs that you guys actually do. So apart from your umbrella term of like student success and helping students in general with that, what kind of programs does your office actually initiate, support, and how does that affect students?
Yeah, that's a great question. Our office at this point in time really does a plethora of research and data collection and data analysis to ensure that the student experience is holistic, equitable, and inclusive, and that our students feel a sense of belonging. So, a lot of that includes holding student focus groups, having surveys for our students, meeting with different faculty and staff about what they're experiencing with students in the classroom and outside of the classroom. So we do a lot of just walking around campuses and chatting with students. We are wholeheartedly believe that your voices create great impact on the future students at UNG. So if there ever is an opportunity where you could speak to us about your experience or your needs, that's really the main focus of our office. But of course, we do have other programs that lead to student retention and success, which one of them is we do work with instructors on a program that facilitates dialogue among instructors, students, and our academic success coaches within University College. The purpose of this is to work with students one-on-one at first point of distress in the classroom. So anytime that an instructor feels that you might be having troubles with your academics or tests or quizzes, or you might have had too many absences in a course, the instructor does let us know about that's happening, and not to get too in the weeds or into your business, but really to reach out to see if we can offer you any help so that you can get back on track and can be remotivated in classes. Valencia mentioned earlier about how much of a transition this is when you all are becoming adults and trying to learn and navigate these new environments and spaces. And you're not supposed to come in and know all of these things and be able to have straight A's in all of your courses. That is why we are here to help with that. So that program is very important to our office. Another big program that you all might hear about is a scholarship program called Hold On to Hope. And this is for students who might particularly lose the Hope Scholarship after their first year in college. I was one of those students. I lost the Hope Scholarship because my GPA fell below a 3.0. And because of that, I had to pay my own tuition. And that was a big struggle. And that goes back to the financial stability student success pillar, that when you are working so many hours to try to pay your tuition, your focus goes off of your academics, and you're just so busy working and trying to make up to pay tuition. So we designed a program that is to help students regain the Hope Scholarship. And what that does is, if you lose the Hope Scholarship after your first year, we do offer you a scholarship alongside an individualized success plan to try to get you all back on track to re-earn or regain the Hope Scholarship. And those of you who might not know what the Hope Scholarship is, it's if you have a 3.0 or higher, Hope does pay 100% of your tuition. So it is very helpful for students in Georgia. And it's a very unique program that the state of Georgia offers that we want you all to have an impact in.
Okay, Michelle, thank you again for your response. Since you mentioned scholarships already, I wanted to ask you a little bit more about how your office actually helps students. So let's say I'm a student, maybe I lost hope or a different scholarship that was really important to my tuition. How can your office basically help me find the resources I need to continue my path at UNG?
Certainly. We do have a Nighthawk Scholarship Center, which is a virtual center on our website that you can, and we'll put it in the module here, but that you can look at and apply for different scholarships. We do have a person in my office that does help identify scholarship opportunities, and relates them to students based on their eligibility. So this includes scholarships for new students, scholarships for current students. We also offer emergency scholarships to provide students with urgent financial support quickly so that they can stay enrolled in the university if they're facing a pretty severe financial hardship. We do work with different departments across the university to create scholarship programs unique to different student identities. So our underrepresented students, we have first generation student scholarships, we have adult learner scholarships, transfer scholarships, scholarships to help students finish cross the finish line with graduation if they're struggling financially as a senior. So there's lots of different scholarships, and the best opportunity that we can recommend to you all if you're interested in getting a scholarship is just going through the current student scholarship application. If we can't find something for you, reach out to us and we will help you as much as we possibly can to remove any financial barriers that are coming your way.
Yeah, that is awesome. I've heard of so many students when they're in their last year or in their last semester, something happens and they're like, I don't know if I can graduate on time or if I'm going to have to wait because of this thing that was unexpected. And I don't know why it's that last year that something always just seems to kind of, not always, but often happens. If something's going to happen in your 4 year journey, somehow it's like right at the end, but it's good to know. And I think a lot of students, especially in my like fourth year or a little after, they don't always know about that. They just assume that the university has already given you everything that they can and that's it. Like you've already maxed out. If you can't finish now, and it's not the case. You can go to not just your office, but there's so many other offices that can help you with so many different things. If it's it doesn't matter if it's your first semester or your last, there's so many resources available, especially if it's financial hardship.
Absolutely.
And this brings me to my last question. So if I'm a student and I'm now hearing about your office, um, how can I get in contact with you guys? How can I work with you guys? How can I basically be a part of your department if I'm interested?
Absolutely. We do have student worker positions in our office. So if you're eligible for federal work study, we're looking for students all the time to come work with us. And really, what those positions do is they serve their peers. So they do research with students by holding peer focus groups to try to figure out what our students' needs are at this exact time. Because we want to meet our students' needs now. We don't want to wait into the future where we're being reactive. We really need to be proactive. But in general, if you want to get in touch with us, we do a lot of focus groups. So we'll do a lot of virtual focus groups. We'll come to your campuses to do focus groups about what students would like to see changed. And then if not, if you just need random help, there's definitely ways you can get help through our flight support program through student affairs. But if you you can also email us, and our email is very simple to remember. It's just success@ung.edu. But we are here to help you all anytime, and we really love and look forward to hearing from students. So please do not hesitate to ever reach out if you need anything.